Hi, excuse me. Hi, Siggas. This is Saka Loves Me. I watched your video, The Real Siggas, and it felt like I wasn't alone. I am currently 17 years old, and I live in Hales Corners, Wisconsin. Uh, I am originally from Milwaukee. Uh, I haven't had a bad life like you have, but I have close to it. Um, I was born on October 29th to my mother, Jessica, and my father, Barry. He, he and I were really close, and we used to, oh, excuse me, do everything together. And every, like, mostly almost every week, he and I would go to the north side, and he took me to drug houses that I later found out were drug houses, but I didn't know that at the time since I was like 4 or 5. And he and I, he would tell me to sit with the actual one of the people who were living with the drug dealers while he went to the back and bought drugs. Anyway, then the fighting between my mom and sorry, the fighting between my mom and my dad escalated, and they finally got a divorce in the year 1999 after a couple months after my brother was born. And when I was 8 and my brother was like probably around 1 or 2, we didn't have his car seat. And we went to our old house, which we were recently kicked out of because of my father. And we I stayed in the car, and my mom was like, "Give me my son's car seat." And he goes, "No, I'm not letting you in the house." And she pushed her way through, and then the two drug dealers were standing outside the door, and she tried pushing through them to get my brother's car seat, and they started beating the living shit out of her in front of me and my brother. Um, I was crying, "Don't beat up my mother, don't beat up my mother," and I couldn't really do anything since I was 8. My mom had to go to the hospital. Thankfully, she was okay. Only a couple of bruises and bruised jaw and all that other stuff. And then I kept, the truth kept coming out more and more from my mother, and I decided to try to not have a relationship with my father. He, uh, he tried, and I believed him, but every time he hurt me or he hurt my mother. So I gave it up. Pardon me. I'm really tired. I went to bed really late last night. And recently, he's gotten with a girl, with a Filipino woman named Sally. And I met her, and I was my usual kind self. And she doesn't like me because of me being with my mother. And then he tried forcing me to be Christian. And I was confused at the time at what I was. So He's like, well, if you get a car, if no, 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 blah blah blah. I will get you a car if you if you go to a marriage class at the church. And I said no. And he blew up at me saying, why why don't you believe in God? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And he was forcing me to do stuff. So that was the first time I cut myself. Yeah. And in sophomore year, I found out I had depression and anxiety. And soon I figured out I also had a social disorder linked to that anxiety. Anyway, he he's ruined my most of my life. I found out I was bisexual when I was in seventh grade, and I told him that, and he's like, "No, you're not." I said, "Yes, I am." And he goes, "You're too young to know what that is." And I was about 16, 15 at the time, and I knew what I wanted to do. And I also told him that I was a Therian, which means in a past life you were an animal. Which mine, being a white wolf named Anayu, she doesn't like people because she was brutally shot in the head by hunters. And I figured that out by me having dreams about me getting shot in the head a lot. Anyway, I told him that and he's like, "Oh, do you want me to howl to you? Do you want me to howl to you because you can understand the language of the wolves?" And I'm like, "You're an asshole. I hate you." And then I told him I liked Lady Gaga and I was going to a Lady Gaga concert, which she's like one of my most influential people. And he he was like, "Oh, she does coke." I'm like you used to do?" And he got really quiet. Now he doesn't right now he doesn't talk to us anymore and he's taking care of Sully's 8 and 5-year-old brats. And he's marrying her in September. I don't want a stepmother and I don't want step brothers and sisters. I really, really don't. Anyway, I also have a bunch of friends that actually care about me, but like you, I've had friends who just used me and just. And then in 2011, during July 5th of 2011, I met my current boyfriend. His name is Ian. He and I have gone through the same crap, but he had to grow up faster than I did. And now we are currently going on 7 months, and I am deeply in love with him, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him. Anyway, going back to the beat up thing. A year later, after the beating that my mom took from the two Mexican women drug dealers, one of the girls was at a party and she got her neck slit open. And then that's when I realized karma. Karma does affect you. And instead of being Christian, I became Wiccan because it's empowering and you can believe in what you want to believe and people in the Wiccan community won't judge you. Anyway, Keep it up. Keep up the hard work. And if you ever need to talk, I will be here for you. Okay? Siggas, just keep on doing what you're doing. Because me and my boyfriend love it. Especially, my favorite has to be Angry Black Man Loves Pokemon. That brought good memories. Anyway, I gotta go, so arigato. Bye.